What's up everybody and welcome to this video where I will be updating you on our world trip planning progress. My lovely wife will be the camera woman for this video. It's the first time she's doing something like that, so don't be too harsh about it. But I think she's gonna be better than me anyways, you know, she's like the artist in our couple. Anyways, we've planned a lot so far, and actually it turns out that by now I've planned way more than I actually planned on planning. Sounds weird, but you know what I mean, right? I actually thought that we would be more doing stuff like make it up as we go, but the first 3 months of our trip are pretty much already planned out. We know exactly when we will be where, although I've just received an email today that one of our flights has been cancelled. We have to look for a replacement for that one, and yeah, my wife is already rolling her eyes because it's the first time she's heard about that. It's actually our flight from Guayaquil to Lima. That one has been cancelled. We have to look for another flight. Luckily we have 2 random days in Lima where we have a little buffer. I've always planned with a little bit of buffer between the different places where we are going. The most important thing is that we reach the Inca Trail at the right time, and then also I guess Manaus is also pretty fixed. But let's start. So at first we thought that we'd go with the car to Spain and leave the car there, but now we changed our opinion. We're actually gonna sell our car, our very expensive Tesla Model 3. I wish. It's an old car from 2004. We get, if we are lucky, we'll get about 1,000 bucks for that. Anyways, we'll be flying July 14th from Zurich to Barcelona, where we will be renting a car for 2 weeks, about pretty much exactly 2 weeks. With that car we'll be going to my parents', well, my father's home. We'll be staying there, then we can go to the wedding in Lamego in Portugal. It's in the 19th or 20th?
19th.
It's the 19th. And after that we go back for a few days, and on the 28th we'll be flying from Madrid to Reykjavik. We'll only stay for 1 night in Iceland because it's like a middle station, and I just want to see some waves. That's pretty much all of it. And Iceland is really expensive. I was looking for a stay in Húsavík for 1 night. Prices were all from like $300 upwards. Way too expensive. So we have somewhere to stay a little bit outside for about $100, but just for 1 night before we continue on to Canada. Sorry, up here is Canada. How's it going with your arms?
It's a workout.
It's a workout. In Canada we'll be renting a car and we'll be driving southwestern Canada on the Rocky Mountains for a little bit. There are some beautiful national parks around there. It will be, I think, 4 or 5 nights only. And by then it will be August 5th when we fly to Los Angeles. There we will be renting a car for about 2 weeks. We will be visiting different national parks like the Zion National Park, Monument Valley, Grand Canyon National Park, Yosemite National Park, and Death Valley. In about 2 weeks before we then fly on to Mexico. In Mexico, specifically Yucatan. How's the city called exactly? Cancun. In Cancun we will be renting another car. Well, first we will be staying for 4 nights at the hotel by the beach and relax a little bit after all that traveling. And after that we'll have a car for about 12 days, I think. We'll visit different towns in the mountains and Mayan ruins. That's all organized by a travel agency that we've already used for Malaysia and Thailand. So they are very reliable and I'm happy to travel with them again. After that we'll be going down to Lima, but that's because the flights from Cancun to Quito, then from Quito to Lima are so expensive that it's worth more to fly from Cancun to Lima and then back to Quito before we go to Galapagos Islands. Galapagos Islands will stay for about 10 days and we are aiming to get a last minute cruise for hopefully the 1 week, well 8 days, 7 nights cruise would be ideal. I don't know, last minute is always very, very random, but we can cut prices by like 50% by... Right, where was I? We had some problems with the focus and I think my wife's arms are dying. Anyways, in Galapagos we'll be getting that last minute cruise, cutting the prices by hopefully about 50%. After 10 days over there we'll be continuing on to... What was the name?
Cusco.
Cusco, thank you. We'll be staying a few nights in Cusco before going on the Inca Trail. By then it will be, I think, September 19th when we will be starting the Inca Trail. After the Inca Trail, we're taking a bus going past the Titicaca Lake, stopping actually in 2 towns by the Titicaca Lake, and then going to La Paz. La Paz will be, well, probably mostly relaxing a little bit. I don't really trust that city very much. But from there, we will take another bus to the Uyuni Salt Plains. Uyuni Salt Plains, I think. We'll take a little tour of 2 nights, 3 days there. That will leave us in San Pedro de Atacama. That's a town in Chile, high up in the mountains, where we will be spending 4 or 5 nights. Also with the cars, so we can explore the surroundings because it's really beautiful and we hope to see the night sky as we've never seen it before. And from there we will take a plane to go down to Punta Arenas. It's in the Chilean part of Patagonia. From there we take a bus to Punta Arenas where the Torres del Paine National Park is located. In the national park we'll be hiking for about 5 days. After that we'll go to El Calafate where we can see one of the most beautiful glaciers of the world, Perito Moreno it's called. After El Calafate we'll fly up to Buenos Aires and then up to Manaus. That's actually the only flight we didn't book yet from El Calafate to Buenos Aires because at the moment the prices are about 100 francs more expensive than what they usually are. So we are waiting for that. Manaus will be staying in a jungle lodge for I think 5 nights, 6 days. Really looking forward to that. We'll be in a jungle without any internet, without anything that connects us to the surrounding world. That will be really awesome. After that we'll fly down to Iguazu. And yes, we're taking a weird path, but it's cheaper flying that way than first to Iguazu and then to Manaus. In Iguazu we'll be staying in a very fancy hotel for 2 nights. It's the most expensive hotel that we'll be having the whole trip, but I think it's worth it. I'm really looking forward to staying there. And after that, we go to Sao Paulo, where we will take our flight to Windhoek. That's on the 25th of October. And over there, we'll be starting our safari the next day. There we still have the one travel agency that's planning that for us, so it's not yet, so the dates aren't fixed yet. That's as far as we've come so far. After that it will be Kilimanjaro at some point, I don't know exactly when. And we don't know anymore after that. After that it will be more of let's make it up as we go and depending on how much money we have left. So that's the travel itinerary that I have for you, and now my wife will take a little break. There's something else that I want to show you regarding the planning of the world trip. I've shown you the itinerary. Is that the word, right?
Yeah.
Itinerary. Now I'm showing you how I'm keeping track of all the money that we are spending. I've even color coded this. I've never done something so fancy in Excel. That's my first time. I have separated. In green is everything that's already been paid for. Yellow is stuff that we've booked but that will be paid on arrival or shortly before we go. And red is the stuff that we still have to book. And those are more estimates than the real prices. I also, on the right side, you have the accommodations, all the accommodations that we are paying for. On the left side, you have first the flights, then all the cars that we rent, then other transports like buses, well, mainly buses and some ferries. Then organized excursions like the Inca Trail and the Uyuni Salt Flats excursion. I think that sounds right. And then other expenses, mostly entrance fees to national parks. Yes, all of them cost. In the US, it's like always $15 to $30 per national park. It's pretty interesting. And in Canada as well, that's all Torres del Paine it's even $70. It's more expensive. Well,
That's how they can maintain them.
yeah, I don't mind that. That's fine. If they maintain the national parks, I'm fine with paying that amount of money. I would even pay more if that meant that we had less people there. So I'm fine with that. As you can see, the flights, most of them are green, already booked, except the one that they've cancelled. Only the El Calafate to Buenos Aires is not booked yet. That's the price I'm expecting to pay. That's why I'm waiting, because at the moment the price is at around 370 francs. So it's way too expensive. The cars are also all booked except one-way fees that we have to pay over there as soon as we reach those places. The other transports we will be mostly buying as we are there, because the buses, it doesn't make sense to pay for them in advance. Oh, actually this isn't paid for. Why did I put this in this? Sorry, I have to change all of this over to this side, change the color. Now it makes sense. The national parks are of course not paid yet. We will be paying them when we are there. And the accommodations are up to Bolivia. Well, up to the Inca Trail, they're all also already booked. But after that, half of them aren't booked yet. And here on the right side, I have the total, with the total of paid, total of only booked, and total of not booked yet. And yeah, you might be able to see the total that we have so far. That's including some estimates for, that's an estimate for the food that we will be paying. Not sure about that, but that should be about how it fits. This is actually the whole route from the 14th of July to actually 25th of October. The other stuff is still up in the air, when and where exactly. Well, the safari we know where, but not the exact dates. And there's another thing that I want to show you guys. Come with me, please. My wife my wife and I have been really busy already preparing stuff for our world trip. Oh, I still have to mention, it's pretty dark. Let me turn on the lights. I still have to mention that the bed is a mess, but ignore that. It's really full of dust on the lens. I have to mention that we are actually leaving this apartment. How do you say? Terminating the rent? Stopping the rent? So yeah, at the moment we are renting this apartment, but we are leaving it by June 30th. And after that we will be homeless for at least 6 months. We will be staying at my brother's place until we leave for Spain. They're also going to Spain about that time. And after that we will be traveling. But we also went to the Decathlon to buy some clothes for the world trip. A lot of stuff, and we thought it's time to get rid of some clothes that we don't use anymore, we don't want anymore. So as you can see down here, we have a hill of clothing that we are getting rid of. We have 3 bags of this, 2 are back there, and then the rest is here on the ground. We still need bags for that. So that's how far we've come with the planning until now. It's pretty much a lot of the planning is already done. There's not much that I have to do at the moment. Just waiting for the Africa stuff to organize it until the end. Get that flight that isn't booked yet, and one flight that has been cancelled, and after that we wait. And we try to make as much money as possible until it's time to leave everything. Alright, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.